Hello, everybody. It's Jenny, and I am back with another installment of Teach Your Son About Sister Wives. Woo! All right, we had some technical difficulties with the last video, so my poor son is going to have to suffer through this. I'm going to have to recap stuff again. But quite frankly, he wasn't paying attention last time anyway, because right around the time we cut the video was around the time my husband showed up and said, "Costco pizza, it's warm. Anybody want some?" And we're like, yeah, we're just going to finish up. So, like, the whole second half of it, he was checked out anyway. He kept saying, Mom, I just want to remind you there's warm pizza downstairs.
There's no evidence of this. Suddenly the video wasn't uploaded.
I am going to take it from where we left off. Robin is dating Cody at this time.
Right.
Courting, if you will.
Courting.
And Janelle had offered her home for them to move in so that they could be closer. And Robin said, "No, I could use my own house. Thank you very much." And pretty much just came right out and said that she wasn't going to have an opportunity to really get to know Cody by doing that. Lies. There's no better way to get to know a man than to see him in his natural habitat. And to get closer to the sister wives and to live in the home where all of them lived and all the kids lived. And Janelle offered, so it's not like that she said no. I'm sure she didn't consult her kids on that. I am sure her kids would have been like, yeah, let's move in with them. That sounds like fun. Probably. I mean, it was obviously a temporary situation. It wasn't permanent. It was until they could find another living arrangement that worked for all four of them. Another sign that it was dumb to just bring Robin into the family.
From the beginning. Yeah.
They had this home. It was set up for 3 polygamous wives. Anyway, okay. We're going to continue from there.
Okay.
All right, here we go. They find another house, not an apartment, mind you. A house to rent. I mean, he was thinking about selling his car just to have enough money to bring her into the family because they had no money at all. Now, of course, the show started at the same time. So there is a very common question, what came first, the show or the Robin? And truth be told, I think both. I think that the talk of the show was already around.
Right.
It was out there. The AUB community knew about it. Not that big of a church.
Right, yeah.
Everyone caught wind of it. Her cousin who lived right there in Lehigh, Utah knew about it. And she happened to just keep driving up and visiting.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
She knew about it, but the reality is, would the show continue on for 18 years without her? Probably not, because of the controversy that she brings.
Right.
So she is in the rental house for about a year, which is very unusual for the AUB faith. Usually, as we saw before, people were getting married within a month of getting engaged, because the whole philosophy of it is you're still not to have intimacy until you're married, and it's not fair to the other wives for you to be courting and going on dates with their husband when he's married to somebody else. So either marry him or don't. But in this situation, Robin, in the book, Becoming Sister Wives, we discuss on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, in the book, Robin shares that she really, didn't want a big wedding. It was a big wedding. She said that Cody wanted the big wedding. Because all husbands want big weddings.
Well, maybe Cody. We've seen Cody is a bit vainglorious.
It's true. But Robin also has $30,000 worth of debt because she has an addiction to shopping and always getting more stuff for herself. Don't buy it for a second. And her justification was she really wanted to have it in December, and he proposed to her in September. She wanted to get married in December, but then she realized, that would be stealing the joy of Christmas from the sister wives. And apparently they said that it would be too much. Now, I sorry, but intellectually, I just don't understand how a family who doesn't celebrate Christmas,
celebrate Christmas?
Well, Cody doesn't believe in celebrating. Well, they do now because Robin celebrated Christmas and she came into the family, and everything that Robin did is now part of the Brown family. So yeah, no, they would each pick, all the kids put their names in a hat, And they had an exchange. They kind of
Okay.
did, but they didn't even like really dive into the Christian aspect of it.
Do they believe in Christ?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They believe in the Bible,
Okay.
but not Christmas.
It's not one of the most fun parts.
I mean, really, Christmas and Easter are the two
Of all the
main
things
events
to
in
take
the
away.
Christian holiday
Yeah.
realm. He was born, he died for your sins, and you can go to heaven and live eternally with him. Kind
Right.
of beyond that, the rest of it is just a bunch of miracles and everything else. But, they're the two main events. Yeah. No. Cody said because it became too commercialized. They were just throwing the baby out with the bathwater
Okay.
because society has influenced this religion. He has chosen not to celebrate it.
It's so
It's
he
ridiculous.
he makes one valid point and then just goes way too far. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
very Cody, very Cody. So they did, and Mary would make them pajamas every year. So
that's nice.
the wives would like make something or bake something or do something. Yeah, so there was a celebration. of it.
Okay. But not, yeah.
Decorating it. They did get a tree, I think. They had. I don't even know if they had a tree before Robin came in the family, to be honest with you. I can't remember ever seeing a tree in there before Robin, but they could have.
Okay.
So there was some level of it, but all the wives said no. They celebrated Hanukkah and I think Rosh Hashanah, like all the Jewish holidays. Okay. Part of the faith, none of those holidays the Christians celebrate, but I understand they come out of the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. So he's just weird. He wants to be different and
Very
special.
esoteric.
Yes. So Robin says, I wanted to do it, and I'm thinking the first weekend of December. So you're starting to plan it now. You get everything in order by Thanksgiving when the family's all together. You have everything set, and they're like, okay, first weekend of December, we're going to get married, and then we can move forward. Yeah. But she said no. She said that the wives didn't want it at Christmas time. So apparently, when Robin says December, she implied a Christmas wedding, which is stupid. She said that the wives were like, yeah, that's not going to happen. After this, Robin says, we really wanted to then have it in January, but we couldn't because it was Mary's birthday, it was Dayton's birthday, it was Janelle's anniversary.
There's so many members of this family. I feel like you could pick almost any time in the year and be like, it's someone's birthday or anniversary, or so you can come up with any excuse, it seems like.
There's a birthday in every single month except for one.
Okay.
And there was a birthday in the month they got married. Just saying. But Robin says but no, it gets even better, Zach. It gets even better because Dayton's birthday and Mary's birthday,
Okay.
same day. Their birthdays are on the same day. So that's one day. And then Janelle's anniversary, the day after Mary's birthday. So there's 2 days back to back in the month. And that's 31 days. The rest of the 29 days were out because they were so busy those 2 days because of a birthday and an
It
anniversary.
would taint the whole month.
Unbelievable. And then she goes on to say, and we wanted to do it in February, but, same situation as January. First of all, not same situation. No anniversaries, one birthday. Lies. Maybe don't tune in on Thursday night because we just read a bunch of lies. That's really what's going down. Okay. So Robin gets her big dream wedding and she goes all out.
Oh.
All out. Real butterflies that were crystallized and put into clips for all the girls' hair and her hair, and
fly away, butterfly.
big fancy cake and large venue. Big deal. Big deal.
Right, okay.
Big deal. Now, we didn't see the wedding because you can't in the AUB faith. You can't in the LDS either if you're not a member of the LDS church. But the reception was outdoors, and so, live band.
Right.
Yeah.
Crystallized butterflies.
I mean, yeah, it was crazy. Somebody went through and did a whole list of everything that, like, itemized how, and they were expensive. Expensive.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Everything was expensive. And I'm sure TLC footed a large portion of the bill.
Right.
Which is why they put it off. But you know what? Would have had way more respect for her to say, you know what? TLC said that they would help chip in. We're just going to wait until they can help chip in because finances are tight with the family, and I appreciate that. And I'm a burden. I bring debt and children. I bring 4 mouths to feed, no income, and 30 grand in debt.
Right.
I'm just going to hold off.
Wow, that is the grown-up thing.
So they get married. Right around this time, the first episodes are getting aired. Well, they get married and they're living there for a while.
Okay.
She's in the separate house. They're there. I don't know. TLC's timeline, unable to follow.
Okay.
And they're always about 2 years behind what they're airing. It happened like 2022. We were watching the COVID year.
Right.
It was like, been there, done that. The show gets aired, first episode. The local police launch an investigation into the family because there are laws in the state against polygamy.
Oh.
Now, nobody had been prosecuted for, like, these laws have not been enforced for years, if not decades.
Okay.
But they were put in place a long time ago. I mean, some people were abusing the life of polygamists, and some people were having underage children, forcing people into marriages, blah, 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 blah.
Right. That does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
In order for Utah originally had a lot of difficulty even getting into the United States because the United States federally doesn't allow polygamy. So they had to pass their own laws to ban it and, assuage the government and tell them, like, we're going to clamp down on this and make sure, because the LDS church was really popular there. So they sort of made the LDS church give up on polygamy in order to even be admitted into the United States. So it makes sense that they're pretty harsh on it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That day when you realize your son knows more than you do. All right, let's keep moving here. So the investigation gets launched. Every time a police car drives down the street, Cody freaks out and he gets his wives to freak out. He's got everyone all worked up. They're convinced they now need to move out of the state because there's no anti-polygamy laws in any other state. I mean, again, try to follow the logic. You'll just drive yourself crazy. So, of course, what's he going to do? He's going to move back to Wyoming where his dad and Janelle's mom and they have family. No, they're going to Vegas. The mecca of the AUB church. Yeah. So they have no one of their faith anywhere around.
What was the reason he could possibly have given to go to...
Oh, funny you should ask, Zachary. Because Robin, she happens to have family that lives there. I was wrong when I said no one of the AUB faith. There's no formal church there, but yes, she had family there. And according to Cody, it was religious freedom because, it's all accepting in Vegas.
Right, it's Vegas.
It's Vegas. Polygamists, come one, come all.
Still don't know if it's legal there, but...
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, but I guess the vibes are a bit more open.
Yeah.
But...
And to be fair, they did say they received the most criticism from the LDS church. Because the LDS church really does not want polygamy anymore.
Right.
They are giving the church a bad name.
Yeah.
With everything going on. Not as many LDS down there in Vegas as there are obviously in Utah. Now, in true Cody fashion, there's no real plan. They just decide to move. They tell the kids 2 or 3 days before, but then tell them, you can't tell any of your friends. We are sneaking out in the dead of night and we are getting out of here. Actually, it was during the day, and they were TLC camera crews in tow. They probably could have told their friends they were going. Really.
But how old were they? Like, so the kids had all a range of ages.
Yeah,
right?
I would say the oldest kid was probably about 15 at the time.
You better not tell
14,
your
15.
15-year-old friends.
Don't tell any of your teenager friends, that you've had ever since you were yay high. Yeah, no, no. And the little ones couldn't tell anybody. It was a mess. It was uncomfortable to watch because the kids were so distressed. And I just couldn't imagine putting my kids through that. And I couldn't imagine getting yourself to the point that they really believed that Cody was going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Now, In their defense, Christine's grandfather was taken to prison, and the government made all the wives separate. And so the whole family was broken up.
Okay.
So she has experience in it. But again, decades ago. This isn't a common thing, and it's probably not going to look really great on the government for them to come hammering down on them. They're probably more than happy to see them just pick up and go. I'm sure if they asked the police, they would have helped carry the beds out. You know, like, I don't think they needed to be so worked up like they were, but it is what it is. So right before they go, 2 days before they leave.
2 days?
Cody secures a place to move to. He finds a very large rental home for 30 days. So they have 1 month to move down there and find a place where they're all going to move to.
See, if Cody can find a place to live in 2 days, I have plenty of time to find a place for when I go back to college.
Well, we don't need to talk about the fact that my son has not found housing for next school year.
I'm gonna call. I have a place in mind that I'm gonna call tomorrow.
All right. I'll keep you apprised. Y'all can ask me on Thursday night what the status is. Okay, the place was furnished, but because Robin had this house, they had to take everything in her house. So they're moving all the kitchen stuff, all their clothes, all the necessary things temporarily because they had family in the area that could keep an eye on the house until they could come back and do individual trips. Okay, so they move down in typical Brown fashion. Multiple tires get blown along the way. They get down there, they move into the rental. Teenagers, not happy. Not happy at all. Not digging this adventure. Okay, and during the time they got 30 days to buy their houses. Well, they can't find houses to buy. So by the very end of the 30-day period of time, they're able to find 4 separate homes that they can rent. That could be a longer rental to give them time to find the houses to buy.
Right.
Time goes on and on and on, and months go by. They can't find these houses to buy because, of course, they want them together. You know, because they were all living in the same house, and with the exception of Robin in her own special home. But they wanted to get something together. They end up finding property on a cul-de-sac that would have just 4 homes.
Oh, okay.
So they bought the property.
All right.
So now it's a 2-year period of time before they're moving in because they got to build all these houses, 4 houses.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. They just bought like plots of land.
Oh. Mm-hmm. With a builder that came with it, you know. With
to build it. But oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
So they're in these rentals a lot longer. During the time they're in the rentals, Robin gets pregnant, has a child.
Okay. Wow.
They eventually, by the time the oldest child is like 17, move into the house. It may have been 18 actually, because I believe it was his senior year in high school.
Right.
He just wanted to at least have one Christmas in the house because he's like, I'm out of here. He also pretty much was like a father figure to the kids.
Oh, I see.
And made breakfast for all of them in the morning because his mom, Janelle, is the one who worked full time.
Right.
So she was gone in the morning. So he got all the kids up, 5 siblings. He got them up. He got them ready. He fed them breakfast. He made sure everyone got to where they needed to go.
Right.
Why Cody couldn't do this, one doesn't know. But that's the way it goes. Or another wife, because Mary just had the one. And now Christine was making dinner for all of Janelle's kids all week long while Janelle was at work. Janelle said that on every night that she worked, Christine fed her children dinner. And probably fed Janelle dinner then too.
Probably, yeah, I'd imagine.
So Christine and had her kids. So that's 12 kids right there. There's only one that wasn't part of it. And she probably just came over too. So pretty much Christine was like pretty much raising, homeschooling, cooking, everything. So I would not expect Christine to get up and, as she's making breakfast for her kids, have the other 6 come over as well. Yeah. I just don't understand why Mary didn't volunteer. But Mary and Janelle just never got along. So there you go. All right, so they move into the houses, and this is the beginning of I don't know if it's really the beginning, but it's the beginning that we see of the deterioration of the family. And it is the beginning of the obvious nature that Cody has a preferential wife who is Robin.
Right.
And he spends all his time, all his energy, all his finances, and all his love over at her house, which is in the same cul-de-sac where everybody can see where Cody is.
Right.
We find out from the book that he was having problems with Mary before he ever married Robin.
Oh, okay.
Their relationship was already hitting rough spots.
Okay.
They were in therapy before he married Robin. Mary was even in therapy with Robin, believe it or not, even though they acted like besties on the show. They weren't getting along before they even got married. Yeah, even though Mary's the one that brought Robin and introduced her and all that, or I think she got duped. I think the whole thing was a setup, and Mary thinks that she met her, and but the whole time Cody and Robin were in on it, and that they brought Mary along in the car on this day, and she's just like, that lady's really nice.
Right.
Maybe she would fit into our family. Oh, you think so? All right, let's give her a call. Yeah, yeah. Things are getting worse and worse and worse after Robin comes into the family. The jealousy escalates significantly on Mary's part, especially because Cody's withdrawing more and more from Mary.
Right.
And then, shockingly, somehow, randomly, Mary's idea. Yeah, right. Mary decides, I should probably give up my marital right as first wife and divorce Cody, so that Robin can legally marry him, and therefore Cody can adopt her children. A lot of speculation out there. Well, Robin makes a lot of accusations of just an unsafe environment. We don't come out and say anything.
Okay.
He stole her purity, so it makes it sound like it was violation and something illegal that went down. And yet that was before they were even married, and she went ahead and she married him. She had 2 more kids, and then he divorced her. So the implications, I think, are all now to make her look justified, because Cody has come out and said, I would nobody's gonna marry somebody who's like tainted. I can't think of the word right now. Damaged goods. No one is going to marry a woman who divorced a good man.
Oh.
Yeah, that comes into play later on. But, so, he's also implying not a good man. Okay, so they're trying to adopt the kids. And apparently, he wasn't doing well on the child support payments. And at the same time, they're getting TLC money, and she's in this $300,000 home.
Right.
And he's trying to make ends meet back in Utah with his small construction company. Why she even tried to get money from him, I don't know. She should have just wanted visitation. But the understanding was every time he called, she was never available. Oh, I'm filming. I can't talk now. It was really hard.
Right.
I kind of believe that side of the story, but maybe I'm tainted and I'm jaded. I don't know. But apparently, he wasn't taking the kids as he should have, although she moved them out of state, and he had a job, and so he couldn't just keep picking them up on the weekends. Anyway,
messy.
Mary, very messy.
Very messy. Ooh.
Mary said the only way, if something happens to Robin, the kids would all go back to their biological dad, and so they didn't want that. Robin's 3 kids that she brought into the marriage. So they're like, we need to be able to keep the kids in the family. In order to do that,
right,
he needs to be able to marry Robin legally, and then he can adopt the kids. Now, I don't know if there's any lawyers out there, but I have a feeling he could have done that anyway, because the dad had to release his parental rights. Right. At any point that he released his parental rights, I think Cody could have, I just feel like it wasn't necessary to do this divorce. I think that it was a whole plan and plot, but I'm not going to go into all that because I don't have all the details. But a good lawyer out there, go ahead, comment down below.
Divorce lawyers, get in the comments.
Yes, thank you. Robin doesn't even act surprised at all. She's like, oh, really? Are you sure? Pretends like she knew nothing of it. I'm like, yeah, that's your response to, I'm going to divorce my husband and you can marry him so that your children can then be adopted and have this, kind of a big deal.
Right.
Are you sure, Mary? Come here, give me a hug. After all that goes down, they go through the divorce. Robin's there too. Mary's like, I want you a part of this. You can be our witness. This is what it's all for. And the lawyer was like, the whole time, he's like, you're a great woman. She's like, do you see why I want to marry into this family? And he's like, this is crazy. All right. He saw the writing on the wall. This is not going to end well, people. And sure enough. Then it's time for Mary. Mary originally was going to go, when they got married, she was going to be a part of it. And she's like, oh, I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do it.
It's fair,
and then
probably.
she let him know. She's like, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I think it is a good thing. I think this is part of our whole family. Just like you were there for the divorce, I'll be there for the wedding. Cody says no. This is going to be something. Oh, wait. Not because it's going to be something special between him and Robin. No. He says no because it's such not a big deal. Like, I don't want to put any importance on this. It's just pushing papers. That's all it is. And so if you come, we make something out of it that it's not. No. Meanwhile, they show them going up to the court, and she's got her hair done, her nails done, all dressed up. He's in a suit. And I'm like, no big deal. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal. He's hugging and kissing her. Are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, no big deal. And they wouldn't take any cameras inside during this time, and they claim the cameras were not allowed. I call bullshit, because cameras were allowed in that court when eventually he did adopt the kids. The whole family was all in there.
Well, I assume, but they're not allowed to show weddings, right?
I don't know why weddings get recorded all the time. That's the one thing you want a camera for.
In the religion, I thought. You're not allowed to show weddings. So he was, but maybe I don't know the full picture.
Yeah. They wrote on the screen that cameras were not permitted in the building, but I see what you're saying. Well, no, because this was not a wedding.
Oh, I see.
This was just pushing papers. This is just signing paperwork. It's no big deal. They're not getting married. They had a marriage. They have they're like, that's our wedding day. This is just the day that the papers got signed. So yeah, no. There should have been no reason not to have cameras there.
Right. Mm-hmm. They were already married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no big deal. But, okay. Just saying. It looked like the same courthouse where they adopted the kids. But I just don't understand how adopting children, minors, is permitted by the courts to have on national television. But a marriage, no, we can't have you come in for that.
Come on.
Are you kidding? Yeah. This divorce happens in 2014.
Okay.
2015, we're already at the point where Mary starts to have an online relationship with a gentleman because she feels completely disconnected. Mary's the first wife.
Yeah.
The one that divorced him. And he was all loving her for a minute.
Right.
And now all of a sudden she feels really lonely and finds herself having an online relationship with somebody else.
Okay. So this is I guess technically cheating?
In their eyes, yeah. Because they see all their spiritual marriages equal to what we would consider a legal marriage.
Okay. I feel like this is some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah. But, or two people who never got married, but they live together and, they're committed to each other. It's that same kind of concept that, it's cheating because we're in a relationship. Even if you're dating and you step out, it's cheating. Yeah.
Okay.
This relationship goes on for a bit. We could probably do a whole separate video on this, but it just ends with Mary finding out that the dude is a woman that she thought she was talking to. It's not the photograph of the person that she was talking to.
Oh.
And all the phone calls was the actual lady, but she has a very low voice, so she kind of sounds like a man.
Oh.
So, yeah. Mary fell in love with a fictional catfisher, really.
Wild.
But then that person started, I believe they wanted money.
Okay.
Then there were, threats.
Like blackmail.
Blackmail occurred. Mary didn't give into it. She had to fess up to the family what was all going down. It was a mess.
Oh my gosh.
Cody very hurt and offended, although he hadn't really been in much of a relationship with her at all. She said, in fact, he wasn't even staying at her place because their relationship was so bad that she said, I think we need a break. Why don't you just not put my house in the rotation of nights? And we'll have a little break from each other. Well, it was also when she started chatting with Sam, whose name is really Jackie.
Wow.
But she thought it was Sam.
Okay.
So she got duped big time, and it had to all come out on the show because of the threats.
Right.
There were threats to the family and et cetera, et cetera. So pretty
Okay.
much a woman who does this for a living.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
She's not the first person. She's done this too. But so Mary now is really on the outs with Cody because now he actually has a reason that he can say, well, because of this. And so that was kind of the beginning of the end. I keep saying it's the beginning of the end. It's just like another reason.
Right.
That was it. That was the end of a marital relationship between the two of them and the last time he's ever stayed with her at her house.
Okay.
But she's convinced he was going to come back one day. She was just good enough and nice enough and kept his secrets and was sweet to him that he would eventually come around and they would be together. Though he pretty much stayed at Robin's house. Janelle didn't seem as bothered by it. Christine, very bothered by the fact he was never around. Very bothered. Cody didn't seem to care. Yeah. They used to have a rotation, but then the rotation would get mixed up. Or while they had the rotation, on Christine's day for Cody, he would show up every evening at 6 o'clock at night. He would eat dinner, hang out and play with the kids, go to sleep, and leave at 7 the next morning. Back at Robin's house.
Yeah.
Spend all day at Robin's house. The next night go to, and then and Christine said even if it was a weekend, there would be no reason for him to be there because Robin built an office in her house so that he had to be there.
Of course she did.
For whatever job he
Right.
doesn't do. All right, so now the years go on. Mary's in her big 5-bedroom home with a wet bar. It was a big storyline. Had to have a wet bar in her house because her daughter Mariah graduated and went to college back in Utah.
Oh, okay.
Her daughter Mariah, a few seasons later, came back and announced that she was gay. She was in a relationship with somebody that she had met in college. They ended up staying together, getting married, I think. I don't know. They were looking into wedding venues right when COVID hit.
Oh, I see.
So the show showed them like going and they were looking at venues, but they're like, what about this COVID thing? You know, like it was one of those like, have you heard in the news about this thing going around? So, you know, the wedding never happened. I don't know if they probably did officially get married, but since then she's transitioned. So she's now Leon.
Oh, okay.
And her wife, Audrey, is transitioning as well, but she's still Audrey.
Okay.
And they have moved back to Utah. They were in Chicago for a while.
Okay.
And then they both moved back to Utah. Two transition people, yeah.
Move back to Utah.
Stretching the minds of the Utahians.
Definitely.
What is a Utahian?
Utahian?
Would that be what it is?
I don't know.
We're Ohioans. Well, it's good for Mary because she's back or closer because Chicago was far away. Time goes on. First child, Logan, graduates. He goes off to UNLV. He's like, no, I'm living on campus. Thank you very much. And then another graduation. Robin has another baby. So she had the boy in the rental house, and then now she had a girl. And then that's the end of kids being born. Oh, I forgot to mention, Christine was pregnant when Robin got into when he was courting her. So she had her baby back still in the Lehigh house.
Okay.
Before, because the baby was like a baby. Right before Robin married in.
So at this point, what's like the biggest age gap between the kids?
Like oldest to youngest?
Yeah.
It would be like 18 years maybe?
18, so like a full generation, basically.
Yeah,
Nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's more like 16 years. But technically, I mean, there's another TLC show for you. 16 and pregnant. Like, it could be. They could be his kids, too. Now we have a period of seasons that are just kind of like the aftermath of the catfishing. How are we handling birthdays and weddings? Kids are graduating. We're seeing graduations. We're seeing weddings. We're seeing kids go off to college. We see some kids just moving on their own. Like, Elton just moved away.
Let's see. Boring, boring, boring.
A lot of the kids were going back to Utah or wherever. Janelle's boys, one got into the Naval Academy, so good for him.
Yeah.
One of Christine's son I know is in the Army Reserves. You know, the family didn't really save a whole lot of money for college.
Oh, so that might be a big part of it.
Janelle's kids, very smart. They did very well. They're very smart kids. The oldest, Logan, went to UNLV. He now has like his, I don't know, PhD in physical science or something.
Oh, okay.
Something, awesome. I can't remember. Physical therapy? I don't remember what it was. And he met his wife in college, and they, after many years, eventually just got married. He's in his 30s now, but they don't have any children, and I don't know the story behind it other than Logan raised all those kids for so long that there's a possibility that they decided, you know, like, do we really need to have kids? Yeah. You know, who knows? We don't know. Yeah. We don't know. People keep saying that's the reason, but we don't know. Like, maybe they're trying and they can't. So I feel bad saying it's because the family made him raise his kids. You know, like some people would be like, oh, that was wonderful. It'd be great to do it with my own kids and do it my way rather than following my mom's rules. And, you know, like, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, that's his business. So now we get to the point as all of this is happening, and right at the time Gabe is going into, I believe, his senior year, one of Janelle's boys. Okay. So Maddie got offered a full ride to go to some college too, but she ended up getting married. And then they moved out of state. So I don't think she ever, well, she didn't take that scholarship because she was in town for a little bit, but I don't think she ever, I don't know. I don't remember. It wasn't on the show. All right. I know she doesn't have a degree because I know after she moved to North Carolina with her husband that she was slowly going back to nursing school to get it. But she's like had 3 kids since then, so it's, as a mom of 3 kids, it keeps you busy. You know? Right. It's all right. It's all right that she is slowly taking a class here and there. She's got a lot on her plate. Gabe has over 800 kids in his graduating class at this Las Vegas school. He's 4th.
Oh. He
gets a full ride to go somewhere. And right at this point, Cody announces, we're going to move. Ooh. Now's a great time to move, 7 to 8 years in. Let's go ahead and pick up the whole family and go again.
And it's all my wife's doing.
Pretty much all the wives were against it at first on the show. What happened behind closed doors, we don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
But he worked his magic, and he even got Mary to agree to move. Now, Mary, she had her house. She was very comfortable there. She had a lot of friends. She liked her best friend, Jen, lived there, and she was established. She had roots. She had this she sold clothes. It's a online clothing.
Oh, yeah.
MLM kind of thing. And she had a lot of downline there. Like, she had her life set up outside of the Brown family. There's no reason for her to pick up and leave it all and go move to the mountains in another state, except that Cody took her there one-on-one. He took each wife individually one-on-one for a special weekend. Stayed in hotels in Flagstaff, Arizona. Oh. Because why not?
It's like he's whining and dining politicians.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the parliament, and he has to get them all to agree to go and move.
Yes, that is exactly how it is.
Ooh.
He tells Mary during this time, I see a move here as a fresh beginning for the 2 of us.
Manipulator.
So Mary is on board. Now we find out about this just recently.
Oh.
Like 7 more years later that he said that to her. That wasn't on camera. He said this to her privately, of course, to get her to move. Again, now we have the kids who are teenagers. They've become teenagers. Not happy.
Right. Is he letting... Who is the one that's about to graduate at a really high ranking?
Gabe.
Is he letting Gabe finish? Is he doing that?
No. And Janelle, Gabe's mom is
Yeah.
devastated by it.
Oh no.
She's devastated by it. Yeah. He got some sort of offer. I don't know how he got an offer in his junior year other than the fact that he was 4th in his class out of 800 kids.
Oh,
You know,
I
like,
see.
I mean, it may have been.
Oh, he got the offer when he was in junior
I think
year.
so, because they
Oh.
were talking about it. Like, I don't know why he would have applied after he was in Flagstaff and then not taken it if it was a full ride.
Right.
So yeah, to be honest, I don't know all the specifics and details of that. And again, they're very vague when it comes to timelines.
Right.
So it is hard to sometimes piece things together. But again, another one of Janelle's brilliant children. Missed opportunity. Hunter, who really had a hard time moving to Vegas, he's the second oldest child of Janelle's, really struggled. I mean, he looked like he was in a full-on depression when you watch the episodes, and it just is heartbreaking to watch. So Janelle was like tormented over that during that move.
Right.
Finally, after a couple years, they were like, join the football team, like you were back, join the, and he's like, no, he wouldn't do anything that he did. He just like, I just want to go to my room. That's all I want to do. I'll go to school because I have to, and then I'm going to come home and go to my room.
Right.
He eventually was able to break through it, and we find out through the book that Janelle says Christine was a big part of that.
Oh.
That, she was close with Janelle's kids, being that she was actively involved in raising them.
Right.
And she said that she was so grateful to have Christine during that time. He's just like, sometimes it's like, Ma. I don't know. You can't relate to that, can you? No. So they all have to move and now go to Flagstaff. Some of the older kids who aren't even moving, who are like moved out and got married, they're like, I don't understand. Like, why? And a lot of the moms are like, well, just come with us. And they came right out and said, Maddie specifically said, no. Y'all keep moving. We're not going to lift. By then she had a baby and she was living nearby. And so Janelle now has a grandchild. She has to leave on top of it. It's just a mess. Why these kids just couldn't finish out their last years.
Right.
Cody says where one goes, we all go. That's what they did.
I'm going to Flagstaff, be back on Monday.